All right, here at Fox Raceway, round one, and you're looking at, surprisingly, Team Triumph. That's right, TF250X. I'm here with Dillion Smith, Joey Savatgy's mechanic, number 17. Another exciting point, Joey Savatgy is racing in 2024, and I'm excited about it. I think he's kind of like flying under the radar a little bit. Top 3 to 5 guy, that's my prediction. He has a lot of speed, so I brought Dillion in here to talk about Joey's bike. Jalik's bike's back there in the background, but we're going to talk about some differences between the two, what Triumph does to this bike. I know a lot about the production motorcycle, obviously coming from a testing standpoint from Triumph, but I don't know a lot about the team bike. So this guy does. But first thing first, Dillion, tell us a little bit about your background, how Scuba got you. It's kind of an interesting story. A lot of you mechanics out there will appreciate this.
Yeah, I mean, for me, honestly, I don't have much of a story right now. It's kind of just getting started. So I'm 21 years old, originally from Alpine, Wyoming, and then just always been into moto my whole childhood, and kind of did the thing, just going to local races, and just really fell in love when I was a teenager. And then, yeah, I graduated high school and kind of didn't know what to do. The only thing I really wanted to do was just get in the industry, and every day I just think, like, how could I get in the industry, because I love to ride, and yeah, I just really wanted to hopefully make that my work. So actually, funny enough, I saw it in a Racer X ad. I ended up going to Scotty Atkins School, Pro SX MX Tech in Morgantown, West Virginia. So did that, and ever since I signed up for that, honestly, just haven't looked back, just picked up the wrenches, and been working hard.
Yeah, so he started from the bottom, the amateur teams, and Scuba saw how well he worked, and he plucked him away, and now he's at a factory racing number 17 Joey Savatgy, so pretty cool. So, all right, you started from the frame all the way up. You built this sucker. I was at the facility not too long ago. I saw everything, and it's a pretty unique situation how this thing goes from ground zero to what you see here today. So give us a little bit about Joey's bike and some of the particulars that he has that you think is pretty unique.
I mean, honestly, straight away, I mean, of course, everyone's wondering, we got a seat bump. Most people run them about back here, but for Joey, he actually runs it in the front to just get him a little bit placed further back. His trainer, Zach Osborne, right now, he's been struggling a little bit with Joey sitting a little too far forward, and especially with Joey riding in Florida, especially in the sand, you got to sit back a little further. So that's why we're running the bump up front. And then obviously you see on the side number plates, we got the Steg Pegs, a little different than everyone else, especially Jalik's bike too. So yeah, I just like to run the Steg Pegs. We're running 2 of them actually. It just helps them get locked in, and like just helps them hold on to the bike a little bit better and know where he's at on the bike.
Joey's a unique individual. I've loved Joey, great guy. But he likes particular things. We had a conversation the other day about jet and how tight he likes his steering. But it seems like Joey didn't do that. We had that conversation, but his steering's pretty loose.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Joey does have a couple little interesting things, but I mean, no, not anything too particular or anything crazy other than the things I just said. But yeah, likes to run it just a little bit looser. Doesn't like it super tight.
All right. So what I've gathered from Scuba, and obviously you're not the suspension tech here, Joey likes obviously a stiffer setting than Jalik. I don't know if you know the weights between the two.
Yeah, they're pretty close in weight. I probably be 5 to 10 pounds different. But yeah, I think Joey is on a little bit stiffer setup. Likes it a little bit higher in the rear, just a little bit more on the front. He's very big on just front end feel. So. Yeah.
And they're still on a KYB spring fork. Obviously that hasn't changed. They haven't gone to air. You guys ever tried air at all?
We did try early on with Jalik, but no, we've been sticking to spring mostly.
Offset on this and races?
We're running 22 clamps and then just 0-degree races.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was talking to Scuba earlier about races, and he's like, man, I don't really believe in races. If you think that we need to go to different races, why don't we just change the offset of the clamp? So honestly, not a bad theory. Most of these teams go to different races, but right now they're on X-Trick 22mm clamps. We're looking like about 5 millimeters up on the fork height. Does he play with that much?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, right now we've been at 5 mil for, I'd say, a good month or so, so he's pretty comfortable with that. But yeah, occasionally we'll make a mil or two here change during race day, so we'll see.
Dudley is the mastermind behind this engine. They're not going to tell us a lot of things about this engine, but from what I can gather, and maybe you can elaborate a little bit too, that lots of dyno hours goes into this engine. You've seen Jalik pull many hole shots in Supercross. The Triumph doesn't lack on horsepower, I can tell you that much right now. Probably one of the fastest 250s in the paddock right now. Yes, even from the Star Racing Yamaha side, I still think this can compete with that as far as sheer peak horsepower. But does he like a special kind of engine? Does he like a lot of front side? Is he more over rev? What's he like?
Joey kind of like just a more linear, like doesn't hit super hard on the bottom
Really?
and not just screaming out on top. Yeah, for both guys actually, both are on kind of the same spec engine and honestly just linear throughout the whole power band.
Gearing, where are we at on gearing?
At 1349.
So 48 is stock, I think, and then I could be right. 1348. So they're going up a little bit on gearing to get a little bit more front side, I believe. And any other special points of thing that you like to talk about here?
Not really. Yeah, like you said, that's our gearing. Just some differences. I mean, both bikes are mostly the same from Jalik to Joey. So
I heard they're on different offset pegs.
yep, yeah. Joey is on just stock pegs, stock Raptor pegs, and then Jalik is on +5 pegs. Yep. Just both guys are on standard length shifters, standard brake pedals. Joey, we're actually not running a tie tip. We're running a stock tip. He likes it just a little bit further out. He said he can just get on it a little bit more versus the tie tip that's a little skinnier. So like that, yeah, not much difference between both guys.
Bar bend. So I'm a big bar bend guy. I geek out on bar bends and all these things. So can you give us the setup here in front as far as throttle, bar bend, grips?
Yep, yeah. So he's on a half waffle softs, Renthal grips, and then on Renthal 821 bars, and he's on X-Trig bar mounts with a 5mm riser up front. So that's basically the whole rider cockpit.
Is he in the second hole on the bar mount?
Yep, he's middle hole facing back.
Okay.
Yep.
Is he particular? I mean, you probably don't. This is your first, obviously, weekend with him, but has he been particular with his triangle setup? Is he kind of a pain in the ass with that, or no?
Honestly, no, not too bad. I mean, once you get, just like every rider, just once you get bars and the levers in the right position, no, it hasn't been bad. He's been in the same spot for a while now. So.
Throttle tubes you guys are running? Do you guys know what you're doing?
Yeah, we're running OEM throttle tube. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, last question for you. He was really nervous, by the way. I just want to tell you, he was really nervous about doing this with me. We gave him a lot of crap before this, so honestly, you're doing a great job. One thing that you're most proud of, and I ask all the mechanics this when I go to these factory bikes. One thing that you're most proud of about this build.
Honestly, like, it's hard to pinpoint one thing that I'm proud of. I mean, we do everything on these bikes, obviously, except for motor suspension. But honestly, like, when the bike starts from a frame and you start a new build, like, I think the thing for me is just when the whole bike comes together, you got everything on, you got obviously all your new parts, and you get to clean the bike up and just make it look brand new. I think just the whole build itself is what I have the most pride in.
Little sense of completion, I guess, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's kind of like me when I mow my lawn. It's high and tall, and then you start seeing the progress as you go. And for me, it's like I like that.
Yep, yeah, no, it's there's not much better feeling than once you get done with a fresh build and get to see the guys go tear it up in 30 seconds.
Okay, electronics. Do you screw with that much? Is that to me that would be a pain in the ass to really try to lay out.
Yeah. So obviously I'm just a mechanic, just basically a chassis guy. So we do have our in-house electronics guys, and then obviously it kind of works with the motor guys hand in hand. But yeah, we've been putting a lot of work into our electronics this year. I mean, the main thing for us is just mapping. I'd say that's been the biggest thing, that not the biggest challenge, but what we've had to learn and deal with the most from this bike. So a lot of mapping work.
Yeah, so tell the people the ECU they're on, because I don't think a lot of people understand. There's a lot of Vortex Get out there, but we're on something totally different here.
Yep, yeah. So our full ECU and wiring harness is made by Motec. Not very common in Moto, I believe, or at least over in the States.
F1 type stuff, right?
Yeah, I believe like F1, like rally car type stuff. So it's a little bit different, and honestly, like it's cool. But we got a lot going on in these bikes. A lot of sensors. Just, I mean, we can tell data from almost everything on the bike. So, yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like sometimes we'll be at the facility and the Motec guys are there and they're doing a lot of mapping. It's a very tedious work. It's not something you like have a setting and you're good everywhere. Like these guys are building data as they go, right? Because Triumph is a new team and they don't have a lot of data from these tracks because, quite frankly, honestly, they haven't been there, right? So it's going to be a work in progress. Hopefully we'll see these guys up in the top 5 and maybe see Dillion on the podium this year, because that could happen. Dude, seriously, you haven't even been in a pro motocross race, and you could podium your first year as a mechanic.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Fingers crossed. I know that's what we've been working for. So yeah, we'll see.
Is Joey going to give you a bonus?
We haven't talked about it yet, but I hope so.
Dude, you got to discuss that right now. You got to get that handled right now.
You know, hopefully, the plan was to wait after we get a podium. You know, hopefully he's in a pretty good mood and then maybe slide in there. But, yeah, maybe we'll have to have a talk.
Joey, take care of your guy. If you podium, take care of your guy. All right? Number 17, Joey Savatgy, Team Triumph. Thank you, Dillion. We appreciate you. And don't forget to root on the old man in the 250 class, number 17.